There's a reason your baby's so hungry. It's actually stimulating something else in your body. Like there's all of these things they're communicating without you even knowing. You don't have to try. You don't have to stress. Like your body and your baby are working together.
I've put it on shirts. I'm going to put it on my grave. When in doubt, whip it out.
Yeah.
You cannot nurse your baby too much. And the cluster feeding is normal because something is happening on the inside.
So is there anything like that should definitely be on the registry for breastfeeding? What are some things you need to do to protect your nipples, protect your breast, some things to have on hand? Hurting is normal. Like you're doing something new. It's okay, for there to be some pain, but where's the line of like, your body will get used to it and like, oof, something's wrong. Like how do you distinguish?
You see these big 8-ounce bottles and you think like, oh, well, my baby's 8 months old. They need to, have a big, huge bottle. Yeah. Not really. I would say 4, 5, 6 ounces tops. Yeah. All you need is about an ounce an hour for what you're going to be separated from your baby.
That's really good to know. And no, I went through total bottle refusal. Their mouth is constantly changing and learning and being strengthened. And so that just made her not want to latch on to a bottle.
Is there a tongue tie involved? Because that causes bodily tension from all over.
What are some things that you suggest a breastfeeding mom do to take care of their self? So obviously like staying hydrated, high protein, like what are some of those things? Are there any supplements you want to make sure you're taking or things that just make sure mom's in best breastfeeding order? Hi mamas, my name is Megan Norkis and welcome to Our Virtual Village. Starting this podcast was inspired by a local mom group that I went to during my pregnancy and postpartum journey. Connecting with and relating to other moms was a major key for me as I was navigating all the new things that come with being a new mom. So my goal with this podcast is to bring those conversations and stories from my community to a virtual platform. And that's gonna bless moms everywhere. I'm so excited. My hope is that as you listen to this episode, you can hear from and learn about the common struggles that other moms are having in the trenches of motherhood with you and feel encouraged because you're not momming alone. We're all winging it at this mom thing and we can all learn from and help each other. So we're excited to have you as part of our village and let's dive into the conversation. Time for another episode of Our Virtual Village, and I'm so excited about this one. I think I actually say that every time, but I've really been wanting to do a breastfeeding deep dive, and I found the most perfect person for it. I have Jessica here with me, and she is certified lactation counselor. She is a birth and postpartum doula, a midwife assistant. You're even certified in like hypnobirthing and newborn care and La Leche League, and like literally probably every certification you could get. I think you have.
It's my bad side of I'm a nerd.
Yeah,
and I'm always wanting to learn more. And if there's a class that I can take that can benefit my clients in the future, I'm like, let me take it. Let me sign up. Where's the link? Give me the link.
Yeah.
And let's get the sign up going.
I love it. So good. I call myself a birth nerd as well.
I'm a junkie for this stuff.
Yeah, and there's just always more to be learned and more people that need to be educated and stuff. So yeah, I've been really wanting to do a breastfeeding deep dive because this is a huge part of starting motherhood.
Yes.
And it's very confusing and overwhelming and it's not very straightforward for some people. So thanks for taking the time out to share your knowledge.
Thank you for having me.
So happy to have you here. So let's just start with like kind of who you are. We're kind of newer friends. I met you over the last couple months. So just why'd you get into birth work? Tell me a little bit about your career. It sounds like your mom was even in birth work, so you grew up around it and that impacted you. So catch us up to speed, I guess.
So I guess it all got started. I was like the neighborhood babysitter back in the day, and it was like my little brother's baseball team, and you need somebody after school, like, here's my daughter. And my mom was the scorekeeper for my little brother's baseball team. Mm-hmm. So we were pretty active.
Yeah. They trusted you.
Yeah. And they saw me at the games all the time. Mm-hmm. And I always brought a blanket and we would bring like these Sour Patch worms that were everybody, like all the kids would come over. And then we, like, my mom went to a garage sale and got like trucks and Barbies. And it was like all the toys brought the kids to my...
I love that.
to the blanket. Yeah. And then I started babysitting them. And then it went from like, can you babysit on Friday to like, can you babysit like on Wednesdays and Thursdays and after school? And can you help me with the bedtime routine? And my husband works late, and it just kind of evolved from there. So I babysat a lot when I was in high school. And then when I graduated high school, my idea was going to be I'm going to do skincare and I'm going to go to beauty college.
Yeah,
and
like an esthetician or something.
I'm going to be an esthetician and I'm going to start a med spa and I want to learn like medical makeup and all of that. So I'm in the middle of all of that school when my brother and his fiance become pregnant. And she says like, I'm horrified to give birth. And I'm like, why? Like, it's the most natural thing your body will ever do.
Yeah.
And she says, you know, she had a really, really bad experience when she had her son from a previous relationship. And I'm like, you don't have to be scared for this. Like, our bodies know what to do.
Yeah.
And she and my brother asked me to be their doula. And I'm like, whoa, if I'm going to be your doula, one, I'm barely even 19.
Yeah.
But if I'm going to be your doula,
I need to know what I'm talking about.
I need to know what I'm doing.
For sure.
Like, you could really mess somebody up if you're in the wrong position for what their pelvis, you know, space is, or your baby station or something like that. You know, like you could really mess somebody up. So I took the class, and then I really, really liked the class. And then my niece was born, so I got to like implement it. And I was like, okay, skincare's fun.
Yeah.
Love makeup.
A miracle.
But that was like epic. And I saw so many things of like a woman in power, but then I also saw like obstetric violence and the doctor did things without consent. And so it really like encompassed everything that a doula needed to do in terms of like the advocacy part of things and then maintaining the birth space and making sure that her space is sacred and overall outside of like the doctor, because he only came in to like catch and release is what I call it. Like came in, catch baby and out.
Yep.
And it was great. We had a really, really good time. And like the lights were low and we had music playing and
So
my brother's in a band. So it was really like a really soft and gentle delivery.
And it was healing for her.
Oh, she loved it.
Oh, good.
Yeah,
Did she have more kids after that?
I don't think, no,
Okay,
I don't think so.
I was going to say, now she's like, I want 5 kids. Let's go.
I wish. That's
I
like
know,
a huge
right?
compliment. But for her, I think in like her life journey of what the Lord gave her, I think 2 kids was perfect for her.
That's amazing. But it's good. It healed that part of her heart. It's really important.
Yep. So
That's
it just
good.
kind of got from there. And then like I did my niece's birth and then got recommended to another family, did their birth. And then my cousin was pregnant. I did her birth. And then my other brother had a baby and did his birth. And my brother wasn't available. That brother wasn't available to be there for his daughter. So it was just me and the girlfriend.
Oh, wow.
That taught me a lot.
Yeah.
That was wow.
Yeah. You're like, okay, we need the father here.
Yeah. That was a whole other podcast to unpack on what I witnessed on that birth and everything that transpired after that.
Well, because the father has such an important role. And I think so many people, and I talked about this in previous episodes with doulas, so we'll get to breastfeeding quickly here in a second, but the father really does have a role and the doula doesn't take that place.
Never.
You know, like you need that intimate
Never.
relationship, and then a doula just stands behind and aids like the entire experience for both of you. So
but also like give
that's
dad
really
a break
important.
too. Like if it's a
totally.
late night or you know, I'm like, have you ate?
Yeah. So not having dad there is
that was
thing.
rough. But then it just kind of like flowed from there. And eventually at one point, like I got so busy that I started a nanny agency where I would recommend other nannies that I knew. I'd recommend lactation consultants that would come to your home, doulas, postpartum night support. If like you have twins and you're like, I'm exhausted and I'm starting to see 4 babies rather than 2 babies.
Yeah, right.
Then they would call my girls and I had a really, really good team. And then intertwining that into motherhood myself, I ended up selling the business.
Yeah,
so
that makes sense.
And then after that, I was like, I'm just going to do birth work. But I've kind of like flipped a switch for birth work. And then I would like turn that off and then go do postpartum.
Yeah.
And then kind of like dance back and forth.
That's good. It like helps your mental health, I'm sure. It keeps a little bit more variety.
Yep.
So where did like the passion for breastfeeding specifically come in to get like extra certifications and stuff? Probably just seeing so many moms like struggle and have questions and want to guide them.
It was a book that, so my husband's stepmom, I just love her to pieces. She gave me the book from La Leche League. I think it was called, well, back then it was called The Womanly Art of Breastfeeding.
Yeah, I read it.
And it was like old school.
Most of it.
It was like a 1970s copy.
Oh, wow.
And so I think like that had like original
It's
information.
the breastfeeding Bible.
It was like the how-to guide.
Yep.
And it was not only just about breastfeeding, it was like you getting to know your baby.
Yep.
And that flipped a switch on me for sure. Cause I was struggling. Like when I had my oldest, oh my God, it was so hard. And I'm like, why is this so hard? Like I've had so many babies in my care. I've done the nights, I've done the days, I've done everything. why me of all people having so much experience? Like,
Yeah.
why am I struggling so much? And that book really set it off for me. And then she said, like, go to a meeting. So I started going to La Leche League, and that opened the door for me to take the breastfeeding classes, to go be a leader myself. And then we ended up finding our way. But for my second baby, it was like easy breezy because I had all that information, and we ended up nursing way longer than I anticipated. But I'm like, I was like, oh, whatever.
Like, I'm so good at it, I just can't stop.
Well, I'm like, I'm kind of a lazy parent in that aspect. I'm like, oh, you're fussy, boob. Oh, you're sad.
Oh yeah,
I got a boob. I can fix that. Like, oh, you're a little bit hungry, boob. And she was definitely like a booby monster, and she didn't complain at all.
That's how my first daughter was. And then we weaned, and she would bonk her head or something. I'm like, how do I fix this? I'm like, usually I see if she's okay to see if she latches on and still knows how to nurse. I'm like, what? We just give her a cup of water or what? Like,
what am I supposed to do now?
That's crazy. And you mentioned something really profound, I think, because breastfeeding is so natural and it just happens. As far as like your milk coming in, and, you know, like, it's one of the literal most natural things our body's created to do. I think a lot of women have of expectation that it's going to be easy. You know, just because it's very natural and it happens, it does take effort. And that, I think, is a big shock to a lot of people.
Totally.
Especially when they come up against challenges, whether it be latch or sensitive nipples or the shape of your nipples. And there's like so much to unpack there. But I think right off the bat in this episode, I just want to tell moms that if you're having a hard time, you're not alone. And it does take work to like kind of mesh baby's mouth and your nipple together before like milk is flowing. And then like over time it can become effortless, but you're not alone. A lot of people have a hard time. And
you're 9 times out of 10, I'll go to a family for a lactation visit and she thinks she's doing horribly. And I'm like, show me how you nurse. Show me what's working, what's not working, and any tweaks that I can make. Then, you know, we'll, you know, if I need to adjust and like kind of pick up baby's tush or maybe a different nursing pillow, you know, things like that. Like, I'll make the little tweaks. But 9 times out of 10, I'm like, you're actually latching her on perfectly. Like, I don't see any modifications to make. You know, maybe scoot her over a little bit, but you're baby number 1, because it looks to me like you're on baby number 5. So
you're crushing.
You're actually doing really, really good. And so sometimes it's just kind of elevating their confidence a little bit.
Well, and it's kind of awkward. Like at first, I remember being like, how do people just like nurse in public and stuff? Like, because it does take time. First of all, your baby's so tiny, and you know, there's a lot going on there with their teeny tiny little mouth. So trying to set it all up and get in your flow like does take time. But yeah, you're doing better than you think. I think that's a really good thing to tell moms. What's something that like all moms ask you about breastfeeding? Do you see a common thread like that pretty much everyone says? Oh,
every time, like I lead the lactation station on Facebook, and we do meet once a month in person. And all the time moms are like, oh, my mom never produced, so I don't think I'm going to produce. Or, you know, I'm just afraid I'm not going to make milk. And I'm like, let's go back. Let's go way back.
Yeah, hundreds and thousands of years.
You are here right now walking this earth because somebody in your lineage breastfed and probably birthed at home, but that's a whole nother ball of wax. But somebody in your lineage breastfed. So was there anybody telling them that they couldn't do it or that they may not make enough milk? Like, we've just succumbed to this narrative of fear.
Where does that come from? Because I do hear people say it all the time. Like, I was actually just speaking with a new mom, and she's like, I was just so afraid. Like, is there even milk coming out? You know, it's like, where does that fear come from, do you think?
I think it comes from like society. And for, you know, back in the 80s and 90s, there was a huge push from the formula companies. And they've done some work on women and really ingraining in them that they can't do it and won't do it, and that the body's not, you know, just in case, you know, here's this free sample and all this stuff. And I get that, like, there are some times where formula is needed, legitimately, absolutely. Thank you. I'm so glad that we have this available to us, but it's not needed as much as we think.
Yeah, we don't have to stress over it, which is also something that can inhibit milk supply.
Totally.
High stress, like having all this fear and anxiety around it, like isn't your friend. So that's That's huge. And there's a lot of like misconceptions and myths. I'm sure you've heard like so much over your career.
Oh yeah.
But what are some things that you like want moms to know that like maybe they have a false belief in their head and you're just like, no, I tell everyone that's not true. Like crush those myths for us.
It's like the timing of it all. A lot of times moms will say like, oh no, I can't nurse her yet because it hasn't been 3 hours. And I'm like, when in doubt, whip it out. I don't care if you just nursed her 20 minutes ago. It's possible she wants dessert. She wants the cheesecake and the whipped cream. Like, give her.
I can relate. You know?
Like, sometimes I want it too. I thought I was full, and then that looked really good.
I know, right? Or maybe they burp and they have more room in their stomach now or whatever.
Or they just filled their diaper so that they emptied the tank, and now we got to refill. So I always tell moms, when in doubt, whip it out. Like, even though you just nursed her, it's highly possible that she made space. Yeah. And your breast milk is so pure and beautiful and natural to her little baby body.
It's not going to hurt.
It's not going to hurt. Yeah. And if she doesn't want it, trust me, she will let you know. Your baby will let you know.
Oh, yeah. They'll turn away. They'll fight you, push you. Well, yeah. You know, so if they latch, they're good.
Yeah. And you can't nurse them too much. So you might as well just try.
And something I thought was so interesting, which I'm a nurse, so like I should know these things, which a lot of things I'm sure I learned, but once you're like in the season of life, you're like, oh yeah, that's kind of crazy, like all clicks. But especially at first, the first couple of weeks, their stomach is the size of what, like a pea or a quarter or something crazy.
Big.
Yeah, it's a teeny tiny
like
stomach.
The size of like my thumbnail.
Yeah,
like,
so they metabolize
small.
it in 3 seconds and then they want more, you know, so you don't have to wait. And I think that can cause a lot of stress. Another first time mom I just sat down with recently, she's like, I was so stressed about feeding too much, kind of like you're saying. And you like you can just feed them again. You don't have to wait and like make your baby angry because they're hungry.
Every
like
3 hour is more applicable to, say, a formula fed baby, not to a breastfed baby. Breastfed babies are going to want to nurse at least every hour on the hour, or every 2 hours. And sometimes they're like 30 minutes on, 30 minutes off, 30 minutes on, like, and that's okay too. It's like, you know, are your nipples okay? Is the baby in a good position? Are they transferring milk well? You know, all of those things, like the checkpoints, you know, seeing that. Is it like, you know, your baby best? Like, are their hands floppy after they're nursing? That a floppy hand is a full belly. Yeah. So, just, you know, are they milk drunk? Yeah. It is the full, like, are they milk drunk? You know, all of those things. But
that's amazing.
I think a lot of moms are just so fearful about not being able to make enough milk, or that they don't have enough, like they don't have any milk. Like I just recently did a lactation visit at a mom, and she was highly convinced that she had nothing. And I asked her, like, do you want me to show you? I can show you. And so I was like, I'm going to put my hands here and here. I did it like on my little fake boobie. I'm like, I'm going to put my hands here and here. Are you okay with this? She says, yes, please show me. So I self-expressed, and she was like, psh, like she started spraying. I'm like, well, good thing your baby's not here, because we would have just gave her a little milk facial. But I'm like, you have milk. It is like, your refrigerator here is full. Like you are stocked and ready to go. And she's still breastfeeding, and she said that everything has been really, really great. And it was just that confidence of having, like, okay, I am doing okay. Like, my baby's actually not starving. I thought she was, but she's not.
They cry for other reasons. Okay. It's like, I feel like a lot of women just like hyperfixate on that. So I feel really blessed. I didn't. I think it's because I had just had amazing midwives and doula and stuff that like already pre-warned me that those things could come up. So if I ever even like was like, I don't know, did she eat enough? I'm like, I'll just feed her again. Like I just kind of hopped right into that way of thinking. So I'm really glad I didn't like fight with the schedule and stress myself out in that way. I'm sure there's many other ways I did, but
don't schedule
thankfully,
it. Just do it on demand. Don't like, I've even had moms, I'm like, put a towel over your clock. Don't look at the clock. And the apps, sometimes those apps can really like elevate your cortisol. And if you're stressing over how much milk are you gonna make, or you know, all these variables, and then that can make your milk supply go down because you're stressing. And like it's really, really hard for your oxytocin to flow when the cortisol is like raining everything out with its grumpy rain cloud. And like your oxytocin is this big rain or big sunshine, and then here comes your cortisol, and it's like the grumpiest rain cloud ever, and it covers your sunshine. And so that stuff can't flow if you're stressing about stuff that's Not even, we don't even need to stress about that
Yeah.
stuff.
Well, especially you're already so hormonal and stuff. So there's already so much else going on.
Yes.
So watch your favorite movie and just nurse your baby constantly.
Yes. Watch like when you're nursing or when
Something
you're pumping,
encouraging,
something funny,
Yeah.
like just to take your mind off. Like watch Friends.
Yes.
Yes.
That's the best.
Little Ross and Rachel, you know, watch Friends.
Yeah.
Watch something really, really funny. When my daughter was nursing, and Chelsea Lately was I used to watch that.
Yeah.
She was a riot. She was so funny, and she would have people like Perez Hilton and like people that I knew and like worked
very
with.
lighthearted, not so serious.
It was so like I laughed my tush off the whole
Yeah.
time, and
That's awesome.
then I would look down and be like, oh dang,
Oh wow.
8 ounces each. What the
Yeah,
heck? Like that's a lot.
I fight with my breast pump a lot, so that's a good tip. I usually try to look at pictures of my baby, and like that makes me like giggle, and I'm like laughing
Videos.
and watching, and then like my milk lets down. I'm like, oh, because usually I have so much rage with my breast pump that I just want to throw it across the room. Like, this is not helping me make milk. So
and it's hard because your breast pump doesn't make the noises that your baby doesn't.
No, the noises it makes.
Oh,
just make me angry.
Then you think like it's talking to you.
Yeah, exactly. And yeah.
I felt like I used the Medela back in the day. And I swear that thing would be like, let down, let down, let down. I'm like, I'm trying.
Yeah.
And then,
shut up.
Yes. I'm like, these things are way too loud and noisy for this.
Yeah, it's definitely not how your baby sounds.
No.
I love that. So I'm looking at some of like my notes, but I kind of just feel led to just take it from the top. Like, okay, there's a pregnant mom. She's getting close to delivering. I know a lot of times we say to pump. That helps to like encourage labor. So some women also get colostrum, which I never did pre, baby. It always, came after. So yeah, maybe walk me through like those last weeks of pregnancy. Is there anything moms should be doing to prepare to make sure they can breastfeed, or anything that can encourage, good milk supply once the baby comes and stuff? And then we'll enter baby here in a second.
Sorry, I have a horrible trait of getting on side quests.
No, you're good. No, you're fine.
So if you are like at the end of your pregnancy and breastfeeding is really on your goal set, I would recommend take the classes. There's a really good class at Modern Midwives. There's a really good class at the St. Augustine Birth Collective. They're both led by really, really, really good people. And I have had both of my clients take both of those classes. The feedback on those classes have been very, very, they're like, I'm so happy I took that class. Very good feedback, and that it really helped them set them up to like know what to expect.
For sure.
And just have like those reasonable expectations of what breastfeeding is going to look like.
And I'm sure there's a lot of online options and stuff too if someone isn't local.
Yeah, if they're not local, then yeah, for sure. And sometimes I think you can even like zoom in.
Oh, cool.
On those, but I can double check on that. But taking a class in the last trimester is really, really good. And then from there, when you have your baby, you will have all the information at your fingertips, literally at your fingertips.
I love it. Yeah. Knowledge is power.
Yes.
Know what you're walking into, know some of the variables that could come up. That way, if they do come up, you're not like, what? I have flattened nipples? Like, who has that? They tell you like about the different things that could make things more or less difficult.
And get sized for your flanges to make sure that your things fit correctly.
Totally.
Because we all don't look the same, and we all don't have the same size, yet these breast pumps come with a size 24. I have yet to see a mom be 24, and I've only had one mom ever in all these years. One mom was a 28. And like they were so wide, her baby couldn't even latch. That was just one mom, one time ever. So I don't know why they send you a 24 and a 28. I'm like, great way to damage the nipples, guys. Like, can we be conservative here and like I don't know, start her off on a 19, which is more common. But get sized for your flanges to make sure that your equipment fits you. And then start on a low and slow setting if you are going to pump and stuff like that. But take the class. I do recommend get a doula that has lactation credentials. So when you do deliver and you're starting off, like first latch is a good latch and you know what a good latch feels like. And then you have somebody in your corner that you can text questions to and you can ask them, is this right? Am I doing anything like that I could be fixing or, all those things to kind of like elevate your confidence.
Totally.
And then like get with your community and get with other moms. And I do recommend like going to, mommyhood meetings, if you will, like those, the various meetings. I know in case people don't live around here, but there's a lot of meetings in specifically to Jacksonville and St. Augustine that go to those meetings, because the moms that have like the 6, 7, and 8, 9-month-old babies, those ones are like, oh, you know, I went through those trenches too, and this is what worked for us. And their insight is so helpful.
Way more helpful than I ever would have imagined.
Yeah.
Like just knowing you're not alone, knowing you're not the only crazy one, because it's pretty, you know, it's kind of a wild journey to start making milk and giving it to your baby. So like knowing some of the variations that other moms have experienced for sure is so helpful. So then, you know, sometimes I do express a little bit of colostrum towards the end of pregnancy, which you can like save. It's like liquid gold, which is awesome. And then baby comes out, they literally need drops. We were talking about how tiny their stomach is. Yes. So that's another thing. Like, don't stress about the volume. You don't need like, I think it's just hard because women see on like Instagram or something like freezer fulls, and then they have a 3-day-old baby and they're like, but when I pump, I only get an ounce. And it's like, your baby gets what they need. You don't have to be making an excess. Some women do, and that's fine. Super awesome. But you don't have to like feel all this like fear and anxiety. Like right away, they literally only need drops. And then your mature milk comes in. So walk me through like that process. So when should baby latch right away, and walk me through some of that?
You definitely want the golden hour. And look for signs that your baby is ready to nurse. Like they'll start, the Irish call it schlocking. And it's like they start licking their lips, and then they start like putting their hands to their mouth, and they're like, like they're starting to look for it. And, you know, if they're up here, drop them down, get them a little bit closer. If they haven't done the breast crawl yet, which, you know, some babies do, some babies don't, both is okay. Let them kind of find the breast by themselves. I find that more so to a hospital setting, when somebody's really like holding the boob and holding the baby, and they're like, you know, squishing them together. Babies are like, whoa, like, what is this? You just threw my plate of food like into my face. Like, I don't know if I want to eat now, guys. Be gentle. You know, like show the mom, scoop the baby up, see the boobie, like make a letter C. We're in the mama gang now. Like make the letter C, make a C with your boob, you know, wait till your baby does the chin to skin, and show them what a good latch feels like and looks like, and then, you know, let the baby nurse. And so with their like little tongue, they're going to start activating these receptors in your nipple, and that tells your pituitary gland, all right, we got some pull tug action. Your placenta just left. Boom. All right, colostrum, you know, like, let's go. Your colostrum is there. And so 3 days, about 72 hours after you've delivered, your body's going to do the colostrum and get all that out for 3 days. It also happens at the same time that your baby will change their saliva.
So cool.
It's so cool. Like, just the harmonious relationship between mother and baby is so cool. So the colostrum protects, seals the gut. Your gut says like, cool, I'm protected, guys. And then the saliva changes. Wow. And then all those like little bumps around the areola take in that saliva. And then your body's like, oh, you're locked up and you're safe. All right, gut.
Let's ramp it up a bit.
Let's switch over to, they call it lactogenous 2, which is mature milk. And that's when your milk goes from like yellow colostrum to the milky white. And it'll do that switch over right around day 3.
So let's talk about that real quick, because even like I said, being a nurse, and I've seen these things, but it is so crazy to actually see colostrum. And it's thick. It's not really milky. And then the poop is all, you know, like that same color for the first couple of days. It's very different. Of course, then you have meconium and all that other kind of stuff that comes with that. But then mature milk switches over, and things are kicked into high gear. You walk into the bathroom and you look in the mirror, and your boobs are 17 times the size that they usually are.
You're like, Pam Anderson, is that you? Like, where did these bad boys come from? And I didn't have to pay for any of this? Like, this is great.
I remember for me,
very engorged.
With my first daughter, I ended up having an emergency C-section the first time around, which was really unexpected. So we were like super exhausted, both physically, emotionally, mentally. It was just like a wild ride. And I remember, you know, I didn't want to sleep with my baby or fall asleep with my baby. It's one of the things I was so nervous about, especially on the couch. It can be so dangerous. Like, I was very intentional about that, but we were so exhausted. And, you know, brand new mom. Like literally this is day 2 or 3.
Yeah.
Just got out of the hospital. And I remember my husband and me were sitting on opposite ends of the couch, and I was holding my baby, and I think she had nursed, and we all dozed off, took a little family nap. I don't know why. I just remember this so vividly. And I woke up and I was just like, what is happening to me?
Oh,
and there's literally milk like leaking out of
Flowing.
both of my boobs. I'm like, oh, I think I remember someone saying like your milk like comes in, like it's coming in. This is it. So
it's here.
Is that like how it happens to everyone, or is that kind of like an outlier, or what is that?
Pretty much. Like I'll prep my clients and tell them like, hey, tomorrow is day 3, tonight's day or night 2. You're gonna get some second night tonight. Your baby's gonna nurse a lot. From them having that second night syndrome, that's what they call it, quote unquote. So them nursing a lot through second night syndrome is what helps kind of like the body like finish the job of sealing the gut and then switching over their saliva. And then your body like the next day is like, oh, okay, all the boxes got checked. And so now like, and you nursed a lot last night. So I need to feed this baby. This is a lot. So we make a lot of milk. And so usually that's when you wake up with like the Pam Anderson type of melons on your chest, and you're like, it is like so heavy.
Whoa, yeah, my skin was all stretched out. I'm like, geez. And I think that's where like some of the fear, especially because you're like 48 hours after becoming a mom, that's when a big hormonal drop starts to happen and stuff. So I think that's where some of the fear can maybe start to creep in. You're like, I was feeding her so much and she's still hungry. And I'm saying I have girls.
Yep.
So
I say she too. I have 2 girls, so
I forget. But anyways, I'm like, my baby like is feeding so much, and they may have like that fear and anxiety, but really that everything is intentional, I guess is what I'm trying to say. There's a reason your baby's so hungry. It's actually stimulating something else in your body. Like there's all of these things they're communicating without you even knowing. You don't have to try, you don't have to stress. Like your body and your baby are working together, just like God intended it, which was so cool. And we were talking about, how to like prepare. So is there anything like that should definitely be on the registry for breastfeeding? Because I feel like a lot of times for a baby shower, people get so much stuff for, all the cute clothes and bows and, fun like baby gear. But your nipples and like, you're going to go through a lot of other stuff. So what are some things you need to do to protect your nipples, protect your breast, some things to have on hand?
I'd say like get some silverettes. I like those.
Yeah.
I did not know that the silver is what helps you heal. The silverettes are really, really good. I really like, just have some coconut oil on hand, because coconut oil can fix a lot of stuff.
And it's safe for the baby.
And it's safe. Yeah, it's totally safe. It can help heal your nipples if there was any damage, or if you are nursing a baby that feels like a piranha. Yeah. Coconut oil for all the things.
You're like, do they have teeth? I don't know. Like, what's going on
here? Yeah. I really like the silverettes. I really like get some good nursing pads. If you want to make your own, that's good too. Depending on how like crunchy you want to get with it. But 9 times out of 10, the stuff that I see when I go down Target, and I'm there a lot, just don't tell my husband, but I check those aisles just for my own clients, and the stuff that I see at Target or the stores and stuff. I'd say the most helpful thing is a handheld pump. Yeah. Get one of those. It can really just take the edge off. We're not trying to, let's say if you're really, really engorged, just pump for like 5 minutes. Just get some of that release so that the baby can have a little bit more to latch onto. But we don't really need that much stuff for babies. We really don't. They're very simple people. We as an American society have really complicated the uncomplicated. 100%. So you don't really need that much stuff, but maybe just a couple of things down that aisle. I would say like a handheld pump will be good. Yeah. The silverettes, maybe some nipple cream, coconut oil does the job. You don't need lactation cookies or any of those little things that come. Like it's always right next to all the breastfeeding stuff. Yeah. You don't need a special diet. Like you don't really need that much stuff. But for the most part, you just have what you need. Yeah. And it's going to be a good nursing bra. That's huge. A good nursing bra that you're comfortable.
Yeah. You could also just be shirtless for the first few days. Like you don't have to stress about it. Yeah.
That's real life.
For sure.
Boobs out, rocking out.
Yeah.
More nursing.
Yeah. 100%. The silverettes totally saved my life. I didn't, thank God, I feel very blessed because I know this is not how it is for most women, but I did thankfully have like a great latch with both my girls and just kind of go right into our breastfeeding journey. but your nipples still go through it. Like, it's still tough. They've never been used like this before. And I actually got a knockoff brand of the Silverettes because those are a little bit more expensive, and I was nervous that they wouldn't work, but they actually really did. So I don't know. You probably read the Amazon reviews. I don't remember the brand that I got, but they're like half the price. Yeah.
I think
and they're so helpful because when baby is nursing, then, you know, there's just like milk and saliva and all that happening. But then you put your shirt back on, and then you're like still kind of like wet, you know, like in a way. And so like my bra would stick to me, and then I'd have to take it off, and it was like so hard. And just just as I was getting used to it, obviously that's not how it is now. I don't have wet nipples all the time. Just put that on record. Just because I'm nursing, but just in the beginning,
lasts forever.
Just like in the beginning, my milk's coming in, like we're still like kind of trying to synchronize with like when she's hungry, my milk let down and stuff. And so I did not expect to love those so much. It make your nipples look insane. my friend came over,
really silly.
My friend came over, she's like, "Oh my god, are your nipples okay?" I'm like, "No, I have these little things in that makes them look like they're 10 inches long." But yeah, no, those are super helpful just to create, like, first of all, they always like kind of stay cold because it's metal. So like that cooling effect, like in general, just reduces inflammation. Also, like it helped like kind of create a barrier between like my cloth bra or shirt. So that was really helpful. I didn't expect to love that so much, but I would just pop those bad boys in between feeds, or I have one side that's more more sensitive than the other side, so just keep the keep the Silverette on there longer, whatever. So I think that's a huge one. I think I did have the nipple cream, didn't use it too much, but some people really go through like some damage, some really bad damage. So what are some things like where people should look out for help? Like if hurting is normal, like you're doing something new, it's okay, you know, for there to be some pain, but where's the line of like, it, you know, your body will get used to it and like, oof, something's wrong. Like how do you distinguish?
If your nipple is looking like a lipstick tube, like our old, you know, like our moms, you know, back in the 1990s or 80s, the fresh tube of lipstick, how it'd be like angled. If it has the lipstick shape, like we call somebody with the CLC after their name or the IBCLC after their name, call somebody that has lactation credentials. If you are going to nurse your baby and you're going to go latch them on and your shoulders are touching your ears and you are so tense and you're elevating off the chair and your toes are curling, a nursing session should not begin like that, and it should not feel like that. If you feel like sandpaper, one time, like my daughter, I nursed her in a not good position, and my fault because again, lazy parenting. But I remember telling my best friend, I feel like my nipples have been rubbed on concrete, and like they were shredded. And she's like, "Oh my God, I'm never having kids." She did have kids. She did. I'm so sorry if I traumatized you, Lindsay. I am so sorry. But it was so painful. But the coconut oil saved me in that aspect. But if it hurts to the extent of like you're curling your toes and you're bleeding and it's cracked, or you don't want to do it, then call somebody. Like it doesn't have to be like that, and it shouldn't be like that. And there should be like a little bit of discomfort in the beginning, but doable. Doable. Like please do not, as the teenagers say, thug it out. Like, please don't
thug it out. Breastfeeding.
We're not going to thug out breastfeeding. Like, you know what we're going to do? We're going to call people with that have acronyms after their name that mean I know boobs. And we're going to call people. So don't try to, you know, suffer in silence, because nothing good comes from that.
I remember, you know, within the first, actually I was like fully expecting it to hurt so bad, and like I was kind of nervous about that. But in the very first latch, of course, I just came out of surgery, blah blah blah, that whole craziness. So that was a whole, I felt like I was on a different planet. But with all that being said, I remember being like, okay, ow, this is different and new. But then it actually wasn't that bad. For like a week or two, I'm like, oh, like, wow, I'm blessed with perfect nipples. This is great. And then like the soreness kicks in because you are feeding so much. And then like if the baby's sleeping and latching and their latch isn't perfect for a little bit, and then it rubs you a different way. So then I kind of went through a wave of soreness. And I remember asking my midwives, because they said if it really hurts, and like pretty much what you just said, you know, give us a call. We'll make sure it's normal. And one key that they gave me that I always remembered is like it shouldn't hurt more than about like 10 or 15 seconds. So I remember, or maybe they said 30 seconds, I don't know, but they're just like it should kind of go away. Like latching and, you know, having a little bit of pain is one thing, but you shouldn't have like super pain like the whole time, all the time. And so I remember just like latching my baby on and being like, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2,
Yeah,
1.
you do the countdown.
I'm like, okay, wait. Oh, okay, now I can breathe again.
Yeah. It's actually
I think it's okay. Okay. So, okay, it went away. Like, I was always like, okay, just I can do anything for 20 seconds or however long it was. I'll maybe have to put that in the show notes here because I forget the exact number they gave me. But I just would like try to count down from like 30 or count down from 10 or whatever. And then it would kind of give me that peace of mind of like, okay, it went away. And it would also give my mind something to do because it would like distract me from like, you know, kind of the discomfort. So that was really helpful. But that's good. Yeah, it shouldn't be horrible. And what about like different positions nursing? There's so many ways to nurse. Like you always see mom just holding her baby, but my first baby was only 5 pounds and my one boob probably weighed that much. It was bigger than her head. So I did the football hold with her a lot because she could just nuzzle closer to me. So like we were talking about, it is like kind of awkward at first, but there's other positions. Do you have anything to say, moms, you know, getting comfortable and settled in with their baby in that sense?
Yeah, I my first go-to is the football hold because I find that newborns nurse best in that position. They really like to be like snuggled with mom, and if you like scoop them up and, you know, nurse them in that type of position, I'm remembering that some people are listening rather than watching.
Yeah.
But if you scoop your baby up, like, you know, in the crook of your arm, like in your put like their tush in your like elbow crease.
Yeah.
And then their head is in your hand. And that position, they're like eye to eye with the boobie, and they can take a good right deep bite.
Yeah.
And then when they get a little bit, and you get a little bit more confident with breastfeeding, then you can move to, you know, cross cradle and all that stuff. And then when you really want to be a superstar, then you can nurse in bed on your left side and just,
or nurse in your carrier, and you can get funky with it. But that's okay if it doesn't come natural at first. I used to be like, how do people do this? Like, you know, but
or like laid back, like sometimes that's a really easy one too. Like if you just do like the laid back breastfeeding, that'll let your baby have a deeper latch. And especially for the moms that are dealing with like tongue ties and things like that. That's usually why your nipples are so shredded is the tongue tie. But like if your baby has a tongue tie, I recommend doing the laid back or the football. I just think babies get more boobie burger, like the big bite, you know. They're able to I like that. They're able to get more bite, more tissue in the mouth, deeper latch, transfer better. You know, if their nipple is really far into the back of the mouth, like that soft spot, like all the way back there, then they're not rubbing their nipple on the rigid part of the roof of the mouth.
For sure.
And that's where the ouch comes from. That's just way too.
It's so crazy to think about how much is really happening in the mouth and with all of that. The anatomy is so complex. It's crazy.
I prefer the football hold, but if you want to be a cross cradle girly, I'll show you how to do that too. Like that's okay.
Yeah. No, I love that. That's so good. And we were talking about things to have on hand, and you mentioned a hand pump, but also, I mean, a lot of people love the Haka. Like, let's talk about different uses for all these different like gadgets. So the hand pump is great. I actually was like halfway through my breastfeeding journey with my first daughter. So she was like probably almost a year old or something. And I forgot the hospital gave me a hand pump. I was trying to do like the wearable ones, and I've just never really been able to get a ton of milk from a pump. I'm just going to tell myself right now, I think I might have already mentioned this in another episode, but it wasn't until my second baby I just had where my midwife is like, did you ever measure your nipples? And I'm like, yeah, I know there's different flange sizes, but I never really. And she's like, no, you like have to measure. Duh. But anyway, so I just thought I don't get a lot of milk because of maybe my pump or my boobs or whatever it was. And then someone was like, oh, the hospital actually gave me a hand pump. I'm like, I have a whole hospital bag that I literally never even looked through. I was so mad that I had surgery anyway, so I just threw it in the closet and I'm like, screw you. No, I'm just kidding. But I'm like, oh, I should go through that. My daughter's like literally so old. Why have I been breastfeeding forever? And I found it. And the hand pump changed my life. It was like, so I can get way more milk. So maybe walk me through even just the hand pump, and then what's the difference between that and the Haka and the ladybug and the this and the that. There's so much.
There's so much on the market, even more so like today than when I had Ella in 2009. I don't even think we had, maybe we did have a handheld. I don't know. Maybe Medela probably was the only one that made it at that point. The handhelds are really, really good. I like it because it's like easy on the go. You don't have to charge it. There's no batteries. it pretty much does the job.
And you're kind of in control.
Yeah.
If you can try to pump harder.
Yep.
Or if your nipples are sensitive or whatever, you can pump a little softer, which, you know,
Yeah.
you probably have to learn how to really use it, but you have more control.
The moms that have the sensitive nipples, coconut oil on the inside, just line the flange on the inside, and that'll just make things glide a little bit better.
Maybe I'll try that.
You'll get more milk out.
Yeah.
9 times out of 10, you get more milk out by doing that.
Write that down.
Get yourself a little Post-it note.
Yep.
The handheld pumps are really good. The Spectra, I do like that for if like we have a mom that's like returning to the workforce, or if we're really, really engorged and we just need to take a little bit more than the edge off. I like the Spectra, I like the S2, the pink and the blue one. They're both really, really good. I think they both work the same. I haven't seen one that's like, you know, better than the other. I think they both work great. And then you do have like the Ladybug, which is just a catcher. It just like, oh, you got some milk that's dripping out. Let me just hold that and catch it for you.
Yeah, which in the beginning happens so much. It does regulate over time.
Yes.
But I mean, like, I'll be like, oh, I got a little milk on my shirt. And you look down and like literally everything is ruined.
Soaked.
If you're nursing on one side, the other side just lets down until they realize that you switch it up. That you switch back and forth.
And so, that is normal, by the way.
Yeah,
that is totally normal for the other one to activate and want to like be a part of the, you know, like don't leave me out.
Yeah, right. Like, just like let it all down everywhere. And
everywhere. Because our bodies want to, you know, like they
express,
keep it wants to do it. So the Ladybug is great for that.
Yeah.
Back in the day, there was a lot of talk about the Haka. And the Haka came out and it really was like the greatest invention. It allowed a lot of moms to kind of like kill two birds with one stone.
Because you're not really pumping, but you're catching your letdown and you're adding some, you know, encouragement.
You're not really pumping. The difference with the Haka is that it just elongates the nipple. So it doesn't talk to the pituitary gland like the Spectra was, because the Spectra pull, tug, tug. And that's what talks to your pituitary to do a lot of milk. Your pituitary is what like makes the milk and tells your body to make milk.
Yeah. And control the hormones.
Yeah. And control your hormones. So the Haka just pulls it out, leaves it out.
Your body's like, what the
yeah.
hell is this torture device?
So it can kind of like confuse the body.
Okay, well then I don't feel so crazy because I wanted to burn my Haka.
Yeah, and then a lot of moms use it wrong.
And they love it. Like my doula is like, oh really? I just pop it right on and get 4 ounces. I'm like, is that real? Like moms actually get like, that's crazy.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like all the time.
It's great for
I never had a great
Let's
experience.
say if you are somebody who really does need to have milk in the freezer and you don't have the ability to stay at home with your baby, and there is going to be some time where you're going back to work. The Haka can be great. It does have some, you know, pros and cons. But I don't think it's like essential. It's, you know, cost effective. It's only like what, $13 and Amazon will deliver it today by 4 p.m.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
It's great. It's for some moms it works great. For others, not, you know, it's probably one of those things you can just get yourself a handheld.
I haven't even like broke it out this second time around with my second daughter. I was like, oh, I could probably try that again. And I just never did. I'm like, no, you're dead.
I kind of like, I say like tread lightly with that stuff because the more milk you remove, the more milk you're going to make.
That's what I was going to talk about next.
It can like give you, it can give you mastitis. It can really tell your body like, hey, you got to feed the whole neighborhood.
Yeah.
You're like, but I only gave birth to one baby and their tummy is very small. So you can't make, or your body doesn't, or the baby body doesn't have the ability to take in all that milk. So it can really, really like elevate your milk output. So for every mom, you know, not everybody needs to have that much milk.
And the Haka for me, I guess this would be maybe something good to say in case someone doesn't know. I would put the Haka on and get some milk, but it was just a little bit and it was very watery looking. So that, I'm forgetting the name of what the first part of your milk is, but then there's also the hind milk, which is actually like white, milky, you know, so some people are like, I got a little milk, but someone was telling me I only get like an ounce. So I just like put that in a bag and then I just do another ounce the next time, put that in a bag. I'm like, well, you have to, it's at 4 milk, 4 milk and
you want
milk.
the hind milk and the 4 milk.
You can't just only have that first little top off, you know, that top that comes right out.
It can make your baby upset. It can make them like a little bit grumpy.
Because it's not as nutrition dense, right?
It's more of like, if you were going to go through like the whole Thanksgiving meal, which is what breastfeeding is to a baby,
right?
A whole like breastfeeding session, it will include the salad, the appetizer, a couple different appetizers, the really good sourdough bread with the creamy milk or the creamy butter that is made from that high quality milk. And then then it goes into like the meat and the potatoes, and then maybe another side of meat and potatoes.
Yeah.
And then it goes into the dessert. So where the haka does, it only gives your baby like the salad and the bread.
Yeah.
Which, do we really want to fill up on salad and bread?
No,
Like,
we need
protein.
hearty, protein rich, fatty rich,
especially
like real milk.
This newborn is growing at such a rapid rate,
And their
there's
brain
so much
too.
brain activity. We got to fuel that brain activity
For sure.
And so I do recommend, like, if you're gonna pump, like, try to replicate your baby's nursing session and pump for like a good 20 minutes or so.
Yeah.
Once you've gotten over the hump of, because if you do pumping too early, then
Yeah, let's dive in there too, because this is a whole nother misconception and I think a confusing part. So I'd love to kind of talk through it with you. So all my midwives and doula and everything always told me don't pump too early. And I'm like, should I at least try it out? I really, you got all these fun things sitting around. I got my haka. I want to try my breast pump. And they're just like, just take it slow for the first 6 weeks. Only feed your baby. Let your body regulate with them. So walk me through that whole spiel if there's someone feeling like they need to grab their breast pump on day 2 or 3.
If you are engorged and maybe you need to pump, you can try hand expressing. That works best if you do get a big salad bowl, fill it with warm water, depending on how tall you are, put it on your kitchen table. Bare boobie. You want to stand over the bowl and just dangle your boobs into that warm bowl of water. Then you take some coconut oil on your hands and you're going to gently massage in a circular fashion. And you're going to move that milk all the way down to your nipple. And you will notice that the water gets milky. That sometimes just that is all that you need to do to release that engorgement, and then go grab your baby, because the best way to get rid of that engorgement is your baby is the best. If you need to pump, then that's where like the handheld would, just take the edge off.
And how would someone know, like, if they're so engorged they need to like do something like that, or is it okay to just let it regulate? And like, because your boobs feel so full, so what's like really the difference?
If it's like hard knots, you're really, really tight, you're starting to see the red S. That means like mastitis is on the way. It's at your front door. It's knocked. You're about to open the door and let it in. We want to, like, mastitis is nothing that we want to mess with. We do not want any of that. So if you can just release some of that milk, just, a little bit, when you are super engorged. And some moms are so engorged, it's like they're all the way into their armpit, all the way up to their clavicle. Like, this whole area is just
full, like,
so,
it is so
full.
Oh,
yeah.
Wow.
There was a mom that I did a lactation visit like last weekend, and I mostly did self-expressing on her to get that milk out. And then we used her handheld pump, and then we got the baby involved. And even doing all of those things and the baby nursing, she still had so much stuff to work out. And I told her, just ice it from here forward. Just warm it up, do the bowl of water on the table, get everything nice and lubricated and soft, and get that milk moving down, get the baby. And then after that, just ice it so that you can kind of like close up the refrigerator rather than keeping it open.
For
like
sure.
You just want to tell the body, like, hey, I really appreciate that you want to feed, me and like 5 other kids on this block, but we only have one baby.
Yeah, slow it down.
Simmer down.
So when should you start pumping? Like, when's ideal time?
That depends. So it's kind of like a case-by-case basis. If you are going to be returning to the workforce, I say wait a couple weeks. Wait like 2 or 3 weeks and pump out something in the morning. Maybe 7 a.m. is usually a good time. Your milk supply will elevate.
I wake up pretty like full, so I think that's a really good time too.
Yeah. And if you want to, like, handheld on the left, nurse baby on the right, you can maximize that. And you should have hind milk and fore milk if you do it at the same time as your baby. And pump for that same time. And then you save that milk and stuff. But if you don't have any, work outside of the home, or say you work from home and your baby's, being cared for by grandma or something, and you're really lucky to have grandmas involved. God bless the grandmas.
I know, right?
Then maybe you don't need to pump. Maybe, you can just do some self-express if you're a little bit full, but you'd be surprised at how much milk you really don't need for the moms that are going back to work. And motherhood is work. I'll just say that.
Yeah. But like leaving the house and leaving your baby with someone else. For
yes.
Sure.
If that is your journey, then I would say all you need is maybe like 30 to 40 ounces in the freezer. And it's really easy to get if you're just getting out an extra 2 or 3 in the morning. Like within a week, you'll have enough in your freezer. Like it's really not that hard.
I really need to do that. I should just be more consistent because I don't leave my baby enough. But then, like, for example, there's a holiday coming up right now. So my husband and I are like, oh, let's go do something with our friends. And I'm like, well, I've already said a few times. Pumping's not my favorite and stuff. So like now I've had a deadline to get milk and like that starts to stress me out. So then I don't get more milk. So I'm like, I need to just build up more of a supply over time. Just a few ounces here, a few ounces there. I need to be better at that. But I was better at that the second time around my second baby. Cause that's kind of how I was like, oh no, we have a date night Friday. Now I need to pump an ounce every day until then. So this time kind of right out of the gate after the first few weeks, I'm like, I'm just going to at least like pump once, once a day. So it kind of works into how like my body and baby are synchronizing together. And then my daughter was having some really bad acid reflux. I did a food sensitivity test and figured out that gluten like doesn't agree with me as well. I mean, because I've never really had symptoms, but it was irritating her. So because the milk is made from my blood, if I'm not processing the protein well, then it's like affecting her digestion. And so I have all this milk that I was so proud of. I'm like, man, I just started working it in. I got a bag every day, and now I'm like, can't use any of that milk. So that was really unfortunate. So I would just want to give myself credit. I'm like, I actually did think about it this time.
That's so good though.
But I will say now she's like 8 months old and I gave her one of those bags today because I was just like desperate and left her with my mom for not very long. I'm like, oh, I'll just use this and I'll just see if, and it actually didn't really upset her stomach. I think maybe now that she's getting older, so maybe all that milk won't go to waste. So I don't want to stress people out because that's like, I will cry over spilled milk.
So, or like milk you have to pass along to somebody else.
I know, exactly.
You really don't, like, let's say you are going to do like a date night or something like that. You really don't need that much milk. Maybe about an ounce an hour. And that's a good because key. Breast milk is so concentrated, like 4 ounces that's it. We don't have to increase the volume of milk to increase the nutritional content. Again, our creator is so perfect. We don't have to give them, like you see these big 8-ounce bottles and you think like, oh, well, my baby's 8 months old. They need to, have a big, huge bottle. Not really. I would say 4, 5, 6 ounces tops. All you need is about an ounce an hour for what you're going to be separated from your baby.
That's really good to know.
Don't be surprised if you are, doing a date night or a date day, or like some of the nurses that I know, they will do a 12. They do a 12-hour shift. They come home, and if your baby wants to nurse nonstop after you've been gone all day, they did not starve. Your baby's just missed you. And sometimes they will nurse until they bleh. It's okay. It's totally okay. It's just that they missed you, and life will go on, and it's okay. But you really do not need 500 ounces in the freezer if you're going back to work. All you really need is like 40 to 50 of, like, I call it SOS milk. And you're going to make a couple of all those bags about 3 to 4 ounces. And then whatever you pump out, let's say like on Monday, and you're just going to replicate the nursing sessions. You're going to do like 9 o'clock, 12 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 6 o'clock. If you're, going to be away for your baby, like every 2 to 3 hours or so, pump for about 20 minutes, put that in a bag or put it in a bottle. And then whatever you pump on Monday, that'll feed your baby on Tuesday. What you pump on Tuesday feeds your baby on Wednesday. So you're always going to be like a day ahead. And then the SOS milk in the freezer is just like for our own mental, we're good.
To know there's extra.
If your baby is like going through a growth spurt or, it's there. But for the most part, you'll be a day ahead, and what you pump out on Friday will be Monday's milk, things like that, depending on what your job is. But
I love that you said that, because I think my mom, of course, like she had babies forever ago, and I think she did like use some formula and like, what is it called? Combination. She did a little bit of combination. So even recently with my 8-month-old, I'll leave her with my mom. She's like, doesn't she need more than a few ounces now? And I kind of did second guess myself. I'm like, oh God, wait. I mean, she got older. Like, maybe she needs more, but it really is so amazing how our bodies like just, like you said, make it more concentrated. So how do you navigate how much a baby needs to eat? Because there's cluster feeding sometimes, and like then they start spacing out feeds, but then they'll cluster feed again. And so like, how do you navigate knowing when to nurse and if you should, or, is that I don't know. I feel like it could stress some moms out.
Oh, the cluster feeding can really like give you mental gymnastics, like on the mommy end.
For sure. I just fed her.
I just fed, like, how much more milk do you need? And there are going to be some days that are growing days, and that is totally normal.
Yeah.
And you're going to notice like, wow, there's a lot of diaper output happening here, and you're constantly changing their diaper. What goes in goes out. So that goes to my famous saying that I've put it on shirts. I'm going to put it on my grave. When in doubt, whip it out.
Yeah.
You cannot nurse your baby too much. And the cluster feeding is normal because something is happening on the inside. As long as like, there's other factors that are not at play, like tongue ties and things like that. That's a whole other ball of wax. But if your baby is cluster feeding, just feed on demand. Just lean into it. Like there's going to be some days when you are in your postpartum, those first 120 days of the 4th trimester, you're going to just sit on the couch all day and you're going to get nothing done other than feeding your baby. And I call it soldier nursing. Like they're left, right. They just go back and forth and back and forth. And you're like, dude, I'm empty. Like there's nothing else in the tanks. And before you know it, there's another letdown. Yeah. So just kind of go with the flow. Literally go with your flow. Like just let your baby nurse. But then there's going to be days where, like I remember one time, it was at my daughter's birthday party and she was turning 4, or maybe 5. And my baby Ireland would not nurse all day. She was way overstimulated. She would, pass the baby around. Everybody wanted to see her. And she went on a nursing strike. And I like panicked and also massively engorged. Like my body has never done anything like that before. So if that happens to moms, I just recommend like get the baby into another room, a cool, dark room, and, do your normal routine. And she didn't nurse like all day, and like nursing strikes can be normal, but just keep offering, take the baby away from whatever is overstimulating, and your baby will go back to normal. And before you know it, you're gonna have another round of cluster feeding, and you'll be like, oh yeah, we've done this before. Like we're good.
For sure.
We're good.
That's another way it can sneak in, like, am I even making enough milk? Because there is inconsistencies. It's not always going to be the same. Like just recently I've been like, I feel like my daughter's nursing a little less, and then now she's like nursing constantly. So I like that. Go with the flow. That's good.
Just go with the flow, and just know that like there's going to be milestones that happen. Like day 2, the second night syndrome, your baby is going to want to nurse a lot. When in doubt, whip it out. And then right around 7 to 10 days, your baby goes through another cycle. And then there's going to be another one at 6 weeks. Just Netflix and chill, dude. Just get yourself some DoorDash and just go with it, because that's what your day is going to be. And then there's going to be another one at 3 months. And usually right around the 3-month mark is where a lot of moms feel like they lose their supply. But it's totally normal. Your body is just shifting. Your body is just like, oh yeah, I don't have to feed the whole neighborhood. Like, let me just scale it back a little bit. And a lot of moms think like they lose their supply around that time, but again,
you're just like finally like regulated and synchronized, and both like breasts don't let down milk at the same time and things, which I did want to ask, do you always have to nurse on both sides? That was one thing that I did get a little stressed about. I'm like, oh, she only nursed on one side and then she fell asleep. Like, what am I going to do? Like, do you have to switch, or how do you balance that?
I do recommend nursing on both sides. So like, let them nurse, let's say on the left, nurse on the left, and then burp them, put them back right on your chest and give it like 10 minutes. Watch. They're going to be like, okay, when in doubt, whip it out. We got righty over here. Let's ready to roll. Let them go on the right one. And usually that one will be like what I call the closer. And that really gives them like the whole thing. And then kind of like feel as to like which one feels like it has more to give. Give your baby that one. But you should be nursing, like maybe 15, 20 minutes on each side, but I don't really like to look at clocks, but just like,
a little chunk of time.
Just a little chunk of time, maybe like one episode of Friends, burp them, and then go for another episode of Friends.
I love that.
And then
that's good.
You'll see that usually by 2 boobs of milk, they are completely comatose. They, when your baby is full. And if they want left again, then again, we're doing the soldier nursing. We're just going to go right back.
Switch back and forth.
And you want to equal the playing field here, and it probably feels a lot better.
For sure. Well, it's tough.
This one's going to be engorged.
It's tough because people usually have like I don't want to say like a favorite side, but there's usually like one that works really good and one that is kind of like dragging along, or you don't, maybe it hurts more on one side, or the latch is different on one side, or you feel like you don't make as much milk on one side, but that's normal,
Very.
Like one is always a super boob is what one of my friends calls it.
I always say like, you're going to have your one that went to Harvard.
Yeah, right.
Does yoga on Sundays and is an absolute straight A student with, multiple degrees and, valedictorian. Then you're going to have Eeyore.
Yeah.
Thanks for noticing me. I call it shitty titty.
Yeah.
Everybody has one. One is really good. The other one is just like, whatever, like barely surviving.
Yeah. Okay. Get a little milk, but whatever.
Yeah, exactly. It doesn't really want to be at the party, but it's there.
I guess we got to use
support.
you.
I guess. And that's very normal. And if your baby does have a side preference, I recommend let's go back to the birth. Like, was baby hanging out on the left side and that's why they want to prefer this one side? Or do they have bodily tension? Is there a tongue tie involved? Because that causes bodily tension from all over, from literally a tongue tie is not just at the tongue. A tongue tie will be from the whole body, like nose to toes, elbows in, like it is everywhere. Bodily tightness. So if that's your baby and you like notice that they can only nurse on one, I got some tricks though. Like if your baby can only nurse on the right side and then you scoot them over to the left and they don't like it, there's a little way to like trick them into thinking that they're still nursing on their left side. Wow. You just kind of like scoot them over. Yeah. Like, oh, you want to do the nurse like this and nurse on my right side, and then you don't want to move your body, then you just scoot them over this way and they still think they're
cool.
Yeah.
That's good to know.
Yeah. For the people that are like listening over the interwebs versus the ones that are watching. But if your baby does have a side preference, like definitely like get them into a chiropractor. I feel like every baby could benefit from having a chiropractor.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, there's so much, even if you don't have birth trauma, it's just a very big event for the baby.
There's so many things that have to happen for a baby to pass through a pelvis. Or even like I've had moms say, oh no, I had a C-section. They're not that gentle.
Yeah.
They're not that gentle. I've seen babies, they had to use a suction to get the baby out because the baby was so high up. That baby absolutely needed chiropractic care, like immediately following birth. And she absolutely had a side preference. Yeah. So if that's your journey, I definitely like get your baby in with a really good body worker and just massage and get them loosened up, and you'll notice it'll resolve.
That's what's so tough about like the tongue tie stuff. That's so like almost trendy nowadays. Is like, some people do require surgery to remove that, but it's like a very whole picture. So sometimes they can even grow back, like the actual tongue tie, lip tie can grow back because there's other imbalances that are influencing that. So really looking at your baby as like the whole body, not just like mouth nipple. Both of you need to be in sync in more ways than just that.
And don't just like go get it snipped like right away.
Do some work, some research.
Yeah, really like look into the doctors, ask the lactation consultants for their recommendations, because we are not out here to recommend guys that are just doing the snip and go. We don't want those type of doctors for sure. But I recommend like get body work done. The cranial sacral therapy will release that bodily tightness. The chiropractors, there's a whole team of people that really do help get the body so loose so that if a revision is necessary and needed, it's so much more precise, and we don't have the grow backs, and now we're starting all over from back square one, and we have to do it again, and all those things. That can be just so much unnecessary trauma on the baby body. So
and there you can do like little exercises and different things. Like I actually went through, maybe we can chat about this a little bit. My first daughter started refusing bottles randomly. It was right around like 3 or 4 months, and she had taken bottles. I'd left her a couple times, like for a wedding anniversary. My husband and I went out to dinner, and then like we went to a wedding another time, so I didn't leave her a ton. I didn't go back to work or anything crazy, but I knew she could take a bottle. And then all of a sudden my mom was like, she would not take the bottle tonight, you're gonna have to come home. Like, what? And then I left her with my husband because I had an appointment or something. He's like, yeah, your mom's right, she's like not taking this. I'm like, these people are crazy. Give me my baby. She wouldn't even take the bottle for me, which usually, you want someone else to, but then I was like, well, let me just try. Like maybe I can get her in a better position because she's used to being with me or whatever. And no, I went through total bottle refusal, and I did hire someone to actually come to my house, and she's like, there's so much anatomy changing at this time. I forget. I think she was around like 4 months old. their mouth is constantly changing and learning and being strengthened. And so it just made her not want to latch onto a bottle. And so she assessed her whole palate, like recommended a certain kind of nipple, like, and then she was like, okay, take the bottle nipple and do this with her and like get her like instincts more integrated, you know, just like they have instincts to latch onto your breast. She's like, start integrating that. So then it would, like, after doing this, she would see the bottle nipple and open her mouth. And like, she's like, oh, milk comes from this. Thing. Like you have to like kind of train her back into it. And then I was doing all these little cheek exercises and stuff with my finger in her mouth and all these different things. So it really is very complex. And not all bottle nipples are the same either, especially compared to the palate of your baby. Like your breast kind of forms to how to feed your baby, but a bottle nipple is a bottle nipple. So do you have any like recommendations in that sense if someone's going through bottle refusal?
Yeah. So I recommend like the Pigeon or the Lancino Mama. Those two are really good. The ones that are like shaped like I think there's an Even Flow one that's really good too. I cannot remember the name of it. That's something like when you're strolling the Target aisles, those are like my go-tos.
The marketing is so confusing. It'll be like, it's just like the breast and for breastfed babies. And it says it on like all of them, you know, so it's really hard to navigate.
It is. You're like, which one do I get?
I'm like, do I just buy literally every single one and try it? And then thank God I found this lady that, you know, could come to my house and help.
There's a lot to pick from. I would say the Lancino, the Pigeon is really good. Stay away from the ones that are like shaped like the breast or like they have this crazy one that came out and then it like looks like the boob and it's like
I've seen that.
Shaped like and
like
it's
the
not
entire
like
bottle is the boob.
Yes. I'm like, I kind of feel like that one movie like I have nipples, Greg, come milk me. It's like it's not supposed to be shaped like that or like, you know, we can't convince a baby to nurse from a bottle because
silicone.
It doesn't feel the same. It doesn't look like their mom. Like
warm.
Babies know. It doesn't, there's no heartbeat involved, you know, things like that. So if your baby does refuse the bottle, just know that it's okay. And there's other ways that we can get milk inside the baby.
Yeah.
Like I've had a baby that it was a very like extreme situation, but I had the mom express colostrum onto a spoon and we spoon fed the baby. So like no bottles needed. I've also had a supplemental nursing system that I put on a glove. The mom was able to pump. This would be a situation where pumping was appropriate.
Yeah, earlier.
And we did a supplemental nursing system. We taped it to my finger and he nursed from my finger.
No way.
And so there's that.
Wild. Yeah.
Like there's so many ways to get the job done and get the baby fed and still maintain that like this doesn't feel like a bottle, you know?
Yeah. But find help, I guess is the bottom line.
Call your people.
That's what I hear you saying. Is, you know, I didn't even know, first of all, that bottle refusal was a thing. And then when you hear lactation consultant, I was seeing, well, they only talk about breastfeeding, but truly like the way this lady, which I'm sure you would have probably done the same thing if I knew you, she like assessed her whole mouth and she was like, well, according to her palate that happens to be high, like make sure a nipple's like a bottle nipple is shaped like this. And I'm like, I didn't know any of this. So like all this insight that's happening, for sure, find help, find people. There's ways of going about it.
We have alternatives. So if your baby is absolutely refusing, there's alternatives. I mean, I kind of feel like in 2026 we need to not be so rigid on, you know, if it doesn't work, just formula feed, you know, just if it doesn't work, you know, quick pivots where I'm like, okay, so your baby doesn't like bottles. It's okay. They like you. Yeah. Do you have a friend or somebody that you trust that's okay with wet nursing? Like, let's bring it back.
Have you seen a lot of that? Is that still a thing?
It's still a thing. It's very much like we don't talk about it.
Well, people do it. I've been wondering that because I like hear it here and there and I'm like, do people really still do that?
You might have to like cut this out, but I had a very serious situation where a baby was, I got called to a lactation visit and I had just had Ireland and I told them, you know, I have a baby, and she's 2 months old. And so she comes with me. She's like my demo baby. I'll show you how to nurse via her. Yeah. And I immediately saw their fontanelle was tucked in, like dipped in.
Like super dehydrated, right? Isn't that the
super dehydrated. And then I went over her birth story with her and she had excessive blood loss. Really, really bad blood loss. And the midwife, I feel, this was in California, the midwife did not appropriately handle the blood loss. Like there was measures that needed to be taken and they were not. This baby was in dire straits and she was like, I need to get milk to my baby. And I'm like, well, I don't have a pump on me. And she's like, will you feed my baby? And I'm like, absolutely. Like your baby is in such like bad state right now. We have to feed her. And so I'm like, I know I won't be able to nurse her just on her own. Mm-hmm. So I put Ireland on the left and I nursed her on the right.
Oh, that's
and I'm
precious.
like, I have to.
Yeah.
And then we call them milk sisters, and Ireland or her is still very much connected.
That's so sweet.
And I'm like, we need to bring this back to where it's not taboo. It's not weird. It's like a friend helping a friend, or like there was one time I was getting my nails done. This is so stupid, but I was getting my nails done and my cousin used to watch my baby. And it was like my one time that I could go do my mom's stuff. Like I was Jessica, not mom.
Right.
And she was like, yeah, Ireland started freaking out. So I nursed her. And I'm like, fine. Like, look at how juicy and fat your baby is.
Yeah,
like
right.
maybe
I'll
you
take
can
some of
fatten
that.
her up too.
Yeah, right.
Because she was always like a bean pole, you know?
Yeah.
And my cousin nursed her and I'm like, I had no problem with that. I know that you're healthy. I know that you would never, ever, ever put anything into your body that you wouldn't put into your baby. You know, I think we need to get more down with the idea. There was another mom that was in one of my breastfeeding groups and her baby refused a bottle. And she was like, can we do a nanny share? Like, so she her neighbor ended up having a baby 10 days before her. And she paid the other mom, like, I'll pay you to babysit and just wet nurse my baby.
Yeah, it
worked out.
It used to be so normal. I actually just watched a video on this recently. It's funny that it came up because I didn't plan on specifically talking about this, but back in like the ancient days, because I was looking at like motherhood, like really, why did I find this YouTube video? I don't know. My algorithm's all messed up.
Yeah, but the algorithm knows what you want to see.
But it literally said like in villages, it was normal for like very communal, which I mean, I know like communal, like birth and women around and birth. Like I know a lot about that, but I never really thought about postpartum. They said it wasn't weird or anything for the baby to be passed around like 8 times an hour to like sometimes even like 15 to 20 people a day, like just holding the baby while the mom is also like just doing her thing. Like it was a very like community driven like thing, motherhood. It was not supposed to be done alone, and now we're so isolated, but with those, you know, like 20 people a day holding the baby, they would be nursed by multiple people, probably not all 20, but you know, like their sisters and grandmothers, and like it was actually even a good thing for them to get different like microbiome from other people.
Imagine the immunity.
That's what I'm saying, which
like
was crazy.
You're getting exposed to different things than other moms, and
which is so cool.
Like I bet like that's how babies survived, was on breast milk
for sure.
And because like formula is actually a new thing. It actually only got started in 1910, 1920, 1930, somewhere in there. And it was created for babies in orphanages that were in extreme situations. And it was like, we have to feed the baby and we don't have a wet nurse. Then they realized that they could really profit off of it. But if we just bring it back to like moms helping moms, and like if I make a lot and you have like legit low supply, like why can't I help you out? Like a lot of times moms are so sketched out about like, what if there's something weird in it? And I'm more sketched out by people selling it. And which is something I refuse to do. I would never. And when Ireland weaned and I started to like count back, like how much milk I had donated, over 4,000 ounces.
Wow.
I would never did it cross my mind to sell it. Absolutely not. Like one of the moms that I regularly donated to, she had triplets and they were all like on special diets, but yet I gave them my milk and she was like, yeah, they don't fuss and they actually sleep through the night. I'm like, cool. Can you tell my baby to sleep through the night?
Let's
She's like literally on the boob all night. And so I ended up donating to 14 different moms, second baby. And then first, I think I fed like 4 or 5 different babies and I still donated like 2,000 ounces.
Amazing.
Like we should bring this back to just moms helping moms.
For sure.
I'm not going to put anything into my body that I wouldn't put into my baby's mouth.
Yeah, that's good.
And a lot of times it's really, you know, like we're all healthy. I think where the selling comes into play, whereas like you could potentially have somebody who is profiting off of this and, you know, putting 2 ounces of milk and 2 ounces of water. That's bad on babies.
For sure.
We cannot be giving them water. You know, breast milk has its own water in it. We don't need to give them any extra water. But just like, how about moms just helping moms? How about friends helping friends? And if you want to take a breather, like it shouldn't be so taboo to say, I'm really, really stressed out right now. And then
will you help me?
you know, like, will you help me?
Yeah.
Or like trade back and forth of, when I lived in Minnesota, there was a group of 4 moms and they all lived in the same block and they all had babies within like weeks of each other. And we used to joke that there really was something in the water of Woodbury.
Yeah, right.
And like the Woodbury water is very fertile.
Wow.
And like, just look at Woodwinds Hospital, their maternity ward. Like, there was never a quiet night at
That's
Woodwinds
wild.
Hospital. It was like popping, literally popping.
Wow.
Everybody was pregnant. And they would all like, let's say like one night someone would watch all 3 kids and then they would, you know,
like
swap.
trade. Wow.
They would all like swap out and then they would do like, oh, you can go get your nails done and I'm going to watch the kids over here. And then the next day
so
be like,
cool.
yeah, you can go to the gym if they don't have daycare. And, you know,
That's
they all
awesome.
helped each other and it all worked out. And then everybody got date nights and it was so fun for
So
everybody in that group. And it was very supportive. And I like, I'm still friends with those moms.
Yeah.
And now the kids are much older and they're still friends and like they still all live in the court. And I'm like, how great that
So awesome.
the community was started just from like, oh, I saw that you're pregnant and I'm pregnant
Yeah,
too.
for
And
sure.
you know,
And
all
then
those
just
things.
Walk alongside of each other as
Yeah.
sisters. That's so cool.
I think
I'm
we
really
need to bring
glad you shared
back.
that story because I've actually always wondered, like, would I do that? I mean, I'm sure I would. Like,
Yeah.
like in your situation, like obviously, like God put you there because like a
Yes.
baby literally needed you, you know. So
Yes.
for sure, in that moment, I don't think I could say no to that, like, you know, desperate mom either,
Yeah.
desperate baby. So that's really special. It's so cool.
When you see a baby that is so, like, you could tell she had all of the signs of dehydration and that mom literally had no milk. And she was so trying. Like, she was a vegetarian. She's gagging, but she's eating steak.
Yeah, she's
Like
I'll do
doing anything that she can to put back the vitamins and nutrients into her body. And she, at one point, the mom was on Reglan, like, which is very extreme. She was on medication and she tried everything. She did La Leche League meetings. She had multiple lactation consultants. She was going to Kaiser. I mean, this mom was checking the boxes and doing everything. And I give it to her.
Yeah.
She was trying everything. Her solution, I always say that like your road doesn't look like everybody else's road and it's okay.
Yeah.
Her journey and her road was mama to mama milk donation. And that's how we fed this baby. And it's cool that like our babies are literally 8 weeks apart.
I mean, that saved a life. That's
yeah.
like so cool. I
Yeah.
love that.
And from that point on, like, I'm like, well, now I know your address and I got 60 ounces in the
Yeah,
freezer.
right?
I'm coming back tomorrow. Like,
So good.
or no, I think I came back that night because I was worried.
Yeah.
I was like so worried.
Yeah. Like I'm coming, I'm bringing my Spectra and we're going to get to it.
Back then it was like me and my Medela.
Yeah,
I'm like,
right.
I'm going to dip
that's
this thing
right.
in bronze,
Yeah.
like frame it on my wall.
Yeah, right.
Like,
We got a lot of work done together.
yes, we did.
Love
I was very well connected
Yeah.
to my Medela, and it came through. Like the old motors were so good on
Really?
the Medelas.
Oh, now they're crappy.
And now they're like they changed their manufacturer. So
Oh, really?
now they just don't, and I get a lot of them donated to me and they just don't, they don't suck.
Yeah.
And you want them to suck,
Yeah.
like in the very best way.
Yeah.
Like
That's
they
hilarious.
just don't
This thing
suck.
sucks. Wait, in a good way or bad?
Or you're, like in the worst way. You're like, I
Yeah.
just want to kick this thing to the
That's so
curb.
funny.
Like it's such a waste. So, yeah, that was a situation where it was like this, we shouldn't be so taboo.
Yeah, for sure. It actually used to be very normal.
It used
We're
to
the
be,
weird ones,
yeah,
actually.
yeah, it used to be
in this modern
so
world.
par for the course. And back in the day, it was like we weren't inside of our homes. We were
sure.
outside, you know, working in the fields and, you know, tending to our children and our garden and our home and
Doing
stuff.
all the things that encourage milk supply,
yeah.
which I think is probably my last question. I was going to try to wrap it up, but I really want to ask this. So,
go for it.
What are some things that you suggest a breastfeeding mom do to take care of their self? Because that's one of my favorite things. My midwife, Mandy, I think she even said it in her episode when she's on the podcast. She's like, it's actually really easy to take care of a baby.
Yes.
Like, they literally just sleep. You put them on the boob,
Yes.
burp them sometimes. So other than that, like eat, sleep, change a diaper. But trying to take care of yourself that's also nourishing a baby is actually the much more stressful challenge. I won't say stressful. Is a
Yeah.
much more challenging part to remember is to take care of yourself. So obviously like staying hydrated, high protein, like what are some of those things? Are there any supplements you want to make sure you're taking or things that just make sure mom's in best breastfeeding order?
If I'm your doula at 37 weeks, I will talk about the basket and filling the basket, and wherever you are going to be nursing, whether it be on the couch or, you know, in your baby's room or wherever you're going to be nursing, get yourself a little basket of goodies. Granola bars, those meat sticks are really good. Coconut water, trail mix. Like, get yourself a little basket of stuff. And then also get yourself a little basket of diaper stuff too, so that you can change your baby, and everything is right here within 2 arms. Your baby, diapers, food. But don't forget to eat. If she's eating, if your baby's eating, you're eating. And if she's drinking, you're drinking.
Yeah.
And make sure that you really like hydrate yourself and get the little basket close to you that has all the goodies in it. And then I call it a booby break. I am not anti-bottle.
Yeah.
I think come 7 o'clock, if you're like, I'm tapping out, if you were able to pump earlier in the day, give the baby to your partner, give them a bottle and tap out.
Yeah.
I'm going to go take an everything shower. I'm going to shave my legs. Okay. Yeah. I'm going to wash my hair. I'm going to dry my hair. I'm going to do all the things. I might even do something crazy. Like, I don't know, clean the sheets or, swap
Paint
out the
my
sheets.
Nails
yes. Do something that feels really good for you. And then slip into your bed. Fresh jammies, you showered, like fresh sheets on the bed. I'm telling you, it's like, and you're postpartum and you're going to be sweaty. So that's normal. Swap out those sheets. Have your husband do it, preferably. But get into bed, watch your show. I recommend moms go to bed at like 7.
Yeah.
Go to bed early because if your husband takes care of that feeding, then you're getting like a good 3-hour stretch until they need to nurse again. And you just gave yourself 3 hours of sleep.
Yeah.
And then it's a lot easier to do, go to bed at like 7:30, and then your baby nurses at 11 and nurses, like you're getting bigger chunks throughout the night. And
then
that's how you feel more human.
Then if your baby has a really rough night, you at least got a few hours of sleep.
Totally.
I think that's definitely very helpful in the very beginning, but even now that my baby's 8 months old, if I like nurse her and then I'll nurse her after dinner, and then I'm like, actually, I'll put the toddler down tonight. If you take the baby, and he puts her to sleep with a passing, I'm like, oh no, then I just go to sleep. I just go to bed. And then I get a good chunk. Then even if she like wakes up, I'm not like stressed about it because I at least got a couple hours earlier on. You're not like waiting to go to bed till the baby does. That's hard.
The nights are long, and sometimes moms get like, I call it like moon anxiety. Like when the moon comes out, you're just like, how long is this going to be? And the nights are so long. But if you have somebody that you can pass your baby to and do that, it really can be a game changer. And I can tell you, like, from a personal experience, my husband absolutely loved putting our babies to bed.
Oh, that's precious.
When he talks about like how it was his time, and I did have to go back to work very early after I had Ella, and that was so hard. But just knowing that she was okay, and like I didn't take that away from him. Yeah, that was the best. And he still says, like, to this day, good. Like, she's about to graduate high school, which also makes me cry. But
you're gonna make me cry.
He loved that time together. So give your throw him in too. It's not just you and your baby. Don't exclude the dads, because they have to have fatherhood just as much as we have to have motherhood. So.
And they're not doing all the bonding and like breastfeeding and stuff, and
I showed him how to give her a bath one time, and then he was like, all right, I got this. Oh, so then he did the bath times, and he did the baby massage, and he did the diapering. And then sometimes he would give her to me to do the boo, but then he would, take her back and then go rock her to sleep and finish, be the closer. Yeah. Closer. Coffee's for closers. Yeah. So he would go and finish it, but like that was his time, and that was so special for the both of them. So don't be afraid to ask your partner for help. And if you are a husband listening to this or watching this at home, see anything that you can do to help. Anything. Like, sometimes we don't like to ask for help. Yeah.
Or even know that we could. Like, my husband would just put her down, like, I didn't even know I needed that. Totally. I remember one time my mother-in-law was like, why don't I just, this is when I had just my first daughter, why don't I just take her for a walk around the block and you can go take a shower? And I remember being like, no, like, I don't want her to leave me. Like, I literally wouldn't have asked that.
I like my baby. I want her to stay with me.
Yeah. And like, I was still healing from the C-section and everything. So I'm like, I'm just going to sit here anyways. I'd rather just have my baby. And she kind of insisted, like, in obviously, or like a respectful way. But I remember, I can still picture it. If I close my eyes, I looked out my bathroom window and I saw her walking away with my baby, and I'm like, oh my, that's actually, it does feel kind of nice. Even though I actually literally didn't want to break. Of course, she was not forceful. I don't want to be saying the wrong thing. She was just like, no, like, mama, go sit down. Like, just let me take her for a quick walk. You deserve it. And I'm like, okay. I mean, I guess like you're kind of, you feel like I really need this. And I'm sure she could probably see some writing on the wall that I couldn't. And it really was. I'm like, God, that 15 minutes really was better than I thought. Or
Yes.
you're like, I don't want to, I don't want my husband to, sometimes I'll be like, I don't want my husband to put her down. Like, I want to say goodnight. I want to lay her in bed. But if you missed it one time, like it's okay.
It's
and like
okay.
you actually like will feel a lot better and refreshed.
Okay.
And it's good.
It's okay. Like, when you fly on an airplane, how they say to put your oxygen mask on first, which sounds so foreign to us moms, because we're always like, it's innate to us that we go to our baby. That's why a lot of moms, will nurse in that position. But it's okay to take care of you first.
For sure.
Because if you got your head in the game and you're super good and you're well fed and hydrated and you're taken care of, you're going to be such a better mom.
Oh yeah.
And we all want to be really good moms, right?
For
like
sure.
that's why we're here. So, it's okay to take care of yourself first. It's okay to, make sure that you got food and pack a snack for yourself. If you're having a day that's out all day, pack a little cooler.
Oh yeah,
with
for sure.
Snacks for you, snacks for baby. And
breastfeeding hunger is different, especially because you're so hormonal. I'm like, oh, it's fine. I had lunch, and then I get stuck at a red light too long. I'm like, I'm raging. I'm so starving. It's like I always like
thirst.
rip into it's
the
different.
Thirst.
It's just
pack
different.
your snack. I looked at my Stanley the other day, and I was driving, and I looked at it, and I started to laugh, and I'm like, it's an adult sippy cup.
Yeah, right.
It is our
Truly,
sippy cup for us.
Like emotional support water bottle.
Yes. Like it's our own sticky, like sippy cup, and we put stickers on it. And
I know, right?
We take it
That's
everywhere,
hilarious.
just like a toddler does.
Yeah, so
but
funny.
Like also like fill your Stanley with something yummy. Like put some strawberries in there, put some cucumber,
electrolytes,
like
It's not
get some
just
element,
water
things like that are gonna help you stay hydrated and feel your best, because you are so easily to be depleted when you're breastfeeding too. So make it fun, because there's been studies that if you like the taste of your water, you're more likely to drink more,
which makes sense.
Yep. So
and it's crazy. More. Also, like your body knows what you need. I never liked coconut water. I would try. I'm like, oh, that is so weird.
Yep.
And then randomly, I actually remember because I was, I thought I was going into labor, had a C-section a few days later, but thought I was going into labor. So my husband did the last minute Publix run, and went to the grocery store, and I'm like, I guess just give me a coconut water. Everybody says to have coconut water in labor. So he just happened to grab one. And I just was like, I don't know. Everybody else has it on their list, even though I don't even like it. So he grabbed that, a couple other little like snacks and stuff that are good for labor. And so I just had that one singular coconut water, and I drank it when I came home. And I was like, actually grab me another one of those. I think that was really helpful. And I have had a coconut water every single day since my first daughter was born. It's like my favorite thing ever. I feel so much more hydrated. I love the way it tastes, like because my body actually knows I need it.
Your body's like, thank you.
Yes. This is what we need. So lean into that. Like your intuition knows, your body knows what you need. And I think that's what's so challenging in like this very fast-paced American society we live in is like we're so distracted and like stimulated. And even if you are nursing and watching TV and then you're on social media and your brain is like moving a million miles an hour, like slow down and just feel for a minute. Like your body's hungry. Like you're hungry. You should eat more.
Yep.
And even if you feel like you ate enough, you should just probably eat more, drink more, like take care of yourself. Because that's how your baby's going to be fed. Yeah.
Pack yourself a little diaper bag.
Yeah.
You may have some, you're still in the pad phase. So if you are out and about and you've done your 15 days in bed and you've, really relaxed and stuff and you're getting ventured back into life, pack yourself extra drinks. If you do not like, this is my recommendation. If you're not a fan of the taste of coconut water, if you like the taste of fruit juices, do coconut water and fruit juice together. Trader Joe's makes some really good ones, like the mango one, the green juice. Put that. I make that. That's my labor aid. I make that for all my moms in labor. Coconut water is, some people are like, I can't stand the taste. Throw some fruit juice in it, and then you're really doing good, because now you're giving your body extra glucose. That's natural glucose, and that's really good for you. And then the coconut water helps you hydrate, and you can even throw some creatine in there. I think I recently read a study about creatine that if you put it like, either in your coffee or your water, stuff like that it takes care of like the mama mentals. Oh, that it helps you like the nighttime scaries are a little bit less. Mentally, it makes you like happier and it's good for your mental health. And
So
I'm
cool.
like, hey, cool study.
I love it.
I'm going to try it.
I'm
Everybody
open to
get
it.
some creatine.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's so cool. Wow. I feel like this episode is really chock full of some really good tips. I really kind of wanted it to be like a step-by-step like walkthrough of either what to expect if you're pregnant and you're not sure, or if you're just in the trenches and things feel dark and scary and your nipples are bleeding and you're like, what do I do? Is this normal? Like, I just kind of really wanted this to be all encompassing. So I think we did a really good job. I'm really grateful for your time.
Thank you for having me. And if you are having a bad time or you're struggling, and that's what your path looks like is a struggle, just know that there's people out there that do this for a living, where we see moms day in, day out. We know how to help and we're happy to help.
Yeah.
And like, please do not suffer in silence. Like,
Totally.
call somebody, ask your midwife, ask your OB, do the Google. There, chances are where you live, there is a lactation consultant. There's people around that can help. La Leche League is unfortunately kind of fizzled out. So those groups are like not around anymore.
Yeah, that's unfortunate.
Very unfortunate.
I know.
But if there's, people in your area that can help you, like, please reach out to them. That you could also call your insurance company if you want to use insurance. There's lactation consultants that are in network that way too. But just, and if you find one and they say like, oh, everything looks great and the latch looks great, and you're like, okay, but my nipple is still bleeding. Call somebody else.
Yeah.
Call somebody else. And sometimes it's the third key on the ring is what opens the door,
Yeah.
So just don't give up and reach out to a friend and maybe ask them, who was your lactation consultant? Did you have a good experience? Were they able to help remedy the solution, find a solution for you? Just try to find somebody that can help and be in your corner. And if you are pregnant right now, do a Google search, look for a lactation consultant in your area, put their number in your phone, get a doula with lactation credentials. That way you can start off like out of the gates, like easy breezy, and just have people in your phone that you can call like that. And you can get your questions answered. So
good. That's really good advice. So many moms are just suffering, like you said, in silence or just alone. And I don't know why. It's like this phenomenon of like this isolation that happens. Someone actually recently said this and it like hit the nail on the head. Like, I think because the mother baby relationship is so sacred and so godly and so beautifully designed. Like, of course, the enemy would want nothing else than to be like distracting and tormenting the mind of a mother to think they're the only one that has gone through this. And it's like this, big, scary, isolating thing. And no one else, feels like that. I don't know why it's this weird, crazy phenomenon that happens, but you're not alone. There's a lot of people who've walked before you and people who want to help you along the journey.
Yeah.
So
and many moms like myself, the reason why we're here is because we struggled. And a lot of times, like, that insight is what helps you
for sure,
on your path. So, and also like about the social media piece too, that a lot of times like we're watching TikToks and all these, reels on Instagram, and sometimes it is bad information. Yeah. And I watch it myself and I'm like, oh my God, how many moms liked this? Because now they're going to follow this and this is horrible advice.
Yeah. So be careful who you're listening to. Have your trusted people, like you said, saved in your phone that you rely on.
And just know that a lot of influencers are being paid by formula companies these days. And that's the next shady move, is that they're not giving you accurate advice. They're being paid to say certain things. And I can vouch right now, I have been a doula for social media influencers. Everything that they do is fake. It is a fake life from beginning to end, wake up to sundown. Like, it is a fake life. And everything that they produce and everything that you're watching, and a lot of times the information that they're giving you is complete fabricated crap.
And you can't really like sort what's true and what's not. So be careful where you get your information. Trusted source. Maybe go dust off the old Womanly Art of Breastfeeding, which I was listening to the audio of that while I was learning to breastfeed my baby. It's like, what else do you need washing over your mind except for that? In those early crazy days, just fill your mind with just like encouraging things, because your hormones are all involved. So no horror movies and crazy stuff like that.
Watch funny stuff. Funny movies that have a funny ending, and that gets your oxytocin flowing.
Keep your spirits up. You got this, mama.
Yes. You so got this. And just remember that like our bodies are so beautifully and wonderfully created. And if it didn't work, we wouldn't have all these people on this planet, because we are all descendants from mothers that slept with their babies, birthed their babies at home, and nursed their babies. We all of us, go back, ask your grandma. I bet you ask your great grandma, ask your grandma, and I bet she knows her mom's birth story. All born at home. and they all were breastfed.
Yeah.
Like all of them, or they wouldn't have survived.
Yeah. So good.
Either they were breastfed from their mom or from a friend.
Yeah. Yeah. The whole community of 20 people.
Yes. The whole block. But
good.
Just know that your body was built for this. And I know it sounds so cheesy and so cliche, but it really, really was. Like breastfeeding is just an extension of your pregnancy.
Right.
And the reason why we can breastfeed is because we were pregnant and those hormones switch over.
Yeah. Like you don't tell your body to build a brain or build, a spinal cord or all these things that start happening before you even know you're pregnant.
Right.
And you don't have to tell your body to breastfeed. Sometimes you need encouragement or tips or positions or your anatomy. You just need to learn more about now that you're on a new journey. But it should come naturally as you learn and unfold and unpack different things.
Yeah. And if a mom is struggling, it's usually because of misinformation or
that's huge.
Like the medical system had put a barrier in place. So it's not because she is ill-equipped or like very rarely do I have a true legitimate low supply.
Yeah.
9 times out of 10, they are making enough milk. They will make enough milk. And it just comes from the, like believe in yourself.
Yeah.
Like you and your baby are such a beautiful connected piece together. Like it's a harmonious relationship. And when in doubt, whip it out.
Yeah.
Forever.
Yeah, literally.
Forever.
I love it. Well, thank you so much for your time. I think it's going to bless a lot of people. I'm going to share it with like a lot of people. My goal too was that if someone, even if they didn't listen to this whole thing, but they know a breastfeeding mom, they just send them this so they have a full rundown. So I love it. I think that's what we did. So I appreciate your time. Thank you for listening. Follow us on Instagram and have a blessed day.
Thank you.